All right, welcome everybody. Today's video, we are over here north of Ayutthaya. So what I want to do here is just kind of take a little trip back through time, just a little tiny bit. So this is north of the main part of Ayutthaya. And all of this was captured and looted and burned and destroyed by the Burmese. But back in the day, all of this here was a canal, had a thriving little part of the town. I guess you can't really say a little part of the town because there was like 1 million people in Ayutthaya. And it was a modern city. But if you could imagine, there was the canals, all the daily life and everything happened right here on the canal. So what is left of this, you know, all the wooden buildings are all gone. What's left of it is some of the temples. And so you can kind of see a little bit of what life was like in Ayutthaya back in the day. So let's take a quick look around and let's see what we see. So this is what north of Ayutthaya looks like right now. We're just barely off of the island. I mean, we're probably 5 kilometers north of, you know, a modern town with all of that. And you go back here and it's like going back in time. They have a little trail that goes through here for the motorcycles, but they have the Khlong and this, or the canal. This is where people got around in the old days. This was the road. So right here was a little canal. And you can see like a footbridge and stuff like that. But this would have had just boats going up and down it, people going to the market, hauling their wares, doing all of that stuff. So you can see that White House, they even have pigs underneath it. Over here, you have another little 2-story Thai style house. Now what you see is they're built up on stilts because it floods. That's what happens in Ayutthaya. The place will flood, you're up on the 2nd story, so the flood waters go up below you. You can still function above. Plus, you can go down and you can do daily activities down below the main part of the house. You can have your livestock down there, you can eat your meals, all of that stuff. So if you would have lived over there, or you would have lived somewhere down the canal, what you've done is you would have came up by boat, and you would have had a little pier over here, and you would have came over to this temple. So the temple life, I mean, the temples are such a part of the community. You know, if somebody has like a sick child or whatever, you go to the temple to pray to get them better. If you're having a little difficulty with your work, you want to make money, you come to the temple and you make merit. And somebody gets married, all the young boys back in the day, all of them would have become monks at some point. And I mean, it would have just been, the temple is the focus of the community. So you'd have came up by boat and you would have got out right here and you would have came out, and the first thing you would have seen is the low wall, and you would have saw this pretty cool looking little bell tower, and it's like a Khmer prong at the top, and it's has like a little walkway around the bottom of it, and this would have been in respect to the Buddha, and it would have had a stairwell. You could have went up there. The stairwell's facing to the east, so you would have been able to come up here, ring the bell, do all of that. Now there's a ton of like little buildings that were in this temple. This one is the monastery of the grandmother. I believe it's Wat Chao Ya, I think is what it's called. But there would have been buildings all in here. You can see some foundations, you see the mounds, and you see like the low wall. Now what's cool about this temple is it actually has a 2-story building that's built in like a Western style. there were a lot of people from the West that were here. There were Portuguese, there were Dutch, there were English, there were French, and believe it or not, there was a lot of Persians also that came here. So they would have been traders, Chinese, pretty much everybody. Japanese would have been in Ayutthaya. So this is a 2-story building, and it's a lot like the temple building that I showed at Wat Mai. It has a lower part, and then it has the second floor up there. And you can see that the upper windows are just square, while the low entrance to that was like the lotus shape. And it also, like in normal Ayutthaya style, it's bowed in the middle like a ship. Okay, let's go up on this balcony and let's look into the building itself. So here are the steps that would have taken you into here. This would have been up on the second floor. Right now there's nothing in it, but they would have had these right here. That would have been the supports for the floor. And you would have had a second floor here, which would have been pretty cool. Right now the building still is in nice shape for however old it is. It's a little bowed in the middle, but the walls are still standing. There's a little bit of roof issue, but hey, you know, if it rains, it'll get you. You can see some of the plaster and stuff still on the walls. Let's go around. And this is what the rest of the temple grounds look like over here. Now this temple is actually, it's a massive area, and it's divided in half by a road. So this part of it's over here, and then a road goes right down through the middle. Now this building here is in the later Ayutthaya style, and it's 10 meters wide by 30 meters long. And then it has a nice balcony up here that would have been there. Now, I don't know if this was actually a worship hall or if it was maybe like a residence hall. Okay, so here is the road that they just built a road right down through the middle of the temple. You can see this is the modern way. So we saw the canal, which was the old way, and this is the modern road. The canal is a little safer to cross. No high-speed boats going. All right, so this is the second half of the monastery of the grandmother. So the early buildings built in this temple were built in the Early Ayutthaya style, so there'll be a little bit more of a Khmer influence. While the other buildings, like the residence hall or whatever that was built in the Late Ayutthaya style. So this is Wat Chao Ya. And you can see they have a hall here. And there are some more buildings off over in this low area. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go over there and see those chetties or not, because it's a little bit swampy. It's rainy season, so with rainy season, you get a little bit extra water. So here is the principal stupa. And then you have 2 little chetties. So they built the main foundation, and then they share the foundation with the main chetty and the principal stupa. Okay, so you can see like a small little chetty here, and they actually have a string tied to connect it to this one over here. So they think this jetty here was built about the same time as the jetties at Wat Chao, which is right next to the former Grand Palace, which is probably the best temple complex in Ayutthaya. And then you can see what's left of this little prong. Now, if you can hear people go by here and they honk their horns, and that's they do it to like greet their ancestors or whatever. They'll beep their horns as they go by. It's just if there's an old temple or an old tree, the Thais will do that. this building right here is where the main Buddha was at. So this was a shrine, and what's cool about it is you can see this low little brick wall. So they would have had a brick wall with like a little railing all the way around this building, and you would have been able to circle the building right here and go around. And when you would have came into here, there would have been walls. This would have all been walls, and they would have had the Buddha sitting right there. And so people would have came in. So if you could imagine going back into time, you would have came into this hall. There would be some monks in here probably, sitting right here in front of the Buddha, giving out the blessings. And somebody that had a sick child, they were coming in here to make merit, to pray to help their child get better. Or if they just had a loved one die, they would come in here to the temple. The monks would take care of the body and have the cremation ceremony, all of that. So, this is a part of the Thai history. So there's probably, hundreds of thousands of feet that have came into this temple over the years. And they would have left right here out of the back of it, and they would have been able to come right up here to the Chedi. And as you can see, to this day, people still come here and they offer blessings. And that's just all that's left of the Buddha right now. Just the torso, a little bit of its legs and stuff like that. That sandstone and the plaster and all of that just disintegrated over the years. And there's a little temple dog. How you doing, boy? A little skittish. They were barking at me earlier. Now he's running away. Okay, so over here we would have had a couple more of the stupas. So let's look at them. So right here on the back of this, you can see the temple wall. It had a building there. And then they have 3 auxiliary Chedis, or what they call JD Rai. So this one would have been a bell-shaped, this one would have been a recessed shape, and that one would have been a bell shape. And they're in a straight line going from north to south. Now with that, all this stuff at a temple has to be, it has to be balanced, it has to be facing a certain direction. The Buddha has to be facing to the east, all kinds of stuff, or facing towards water. So there's a lot of all the traditions that go into these temples that are still in effect. They still do it at a modern temple. And there would have been a little entrance to over here. Now I don't know how high this wall would have been. Probably a lot more imposing than it is right now. Now it's just a little tiny low wall. All right, let's go look over there and see if we can see that jetty over there in the little swamp. But we can see the wall here. I mean, this is really still in fantastic shape. This was built originally in the early Ayutthaya, so you're talking could have been 1350 to 1400 or so, and then they added on to it as time progressed. And of course, all of this being on the north of Ayutthaya was abandoned when the Burmese attacked. And 1767, the Burmese came through here, and they sacked the city and took anything of value, and away they went. And then I didn't even notice this little tiny building here when I came in. It's got a couple little windows, and it's still built like a boat. You can still see a boat in the middle. So this would have been like a little spirit house, and it's still pretty much intact. It's missing the roof. Some of these little buildings like this are quite cool because you can still see all the detail work. They're smaller and they don't collapse as bad in the weather. Okay, I can honestly say I've never seen 2 little structures like this. So they're saying right here that this is a meditation hall. So they were 2-story cylinder-shaped buildings with doors that are shaped in like the little arch right there, the pointed arch. And so they think these 2 buildings, they were overlapping with a curved roof, and they think these were used for meditation. So wow, that's amazing. So there would have been people that would have came in here and sat and just meditated. Wow, I've never seen these type of buildings before. And they would have had 2 stories, and they would have kind of climbed down in here, I guess. I don't know how they would have accessed it. And you can see the big area up there. It's definitely big enough for somebody to sit. And then you can see the notches for the roof beams. Wow, very cool. And you can see here how it was built. So they had the little low arch, little doorway there. And then you can see like the little windows up there. and then they would have been connected right here. Very neat. All right, guys, so that finishes up our little walk around here at Wat Chao Ya, or Monastery of the Grandmother. This is a really interesting temple. It's another one of those that there's nobody at. I'm just wandering around out here by myself, looking at these walls and stuff like that. But it's really cool. If you can kind of envision going back into time and just kind of picturing what things would look like then, you know, and it's really an amazing thing. The buildings are quite cool here. They're built in the Western style. Those circular little meditation halls are amazing also. It's quite cool. The archaeologists don't know when this was first constructed, but they assume it's early Ayutthaya. And you know, of course, it's been abandoned for several hundred years now. So anyway, I just wanted to take you a little tour through it and let you see what I see today. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and share it with your friends or whatever if you would like. Anything you can do to help my channel grow would be appreciated. And helping my channel grow is what I need. Subscriptions, and it also lets you be notified whenever I post a new video. So if you like it, click like. If you want, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you've been here before, which I don't think too many people have, or if you know anything about it, leave me a comment down below. Tell me, and let me know. If you want me to do something different, let me know also in a video, and I'll do my best to make a video of that if it's possible. So as always, guys, from Ayutthaya, from the old early Ayutthaya style temple here at the Monastery of the Grandmother. Remember, life is a journey. Enjoy.